There we go. Greetings, or what is up, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is hiding, the rain is pouring, and the Magpie is casting. Coming to you guys right now with a slightly different time slot. We're just going to dip our toes into the water and see what happens if we start casting Company of Heroes 2 a little bit later on. I suppose now that the lockdown is sort of coming to an end in some places, I mean, a little bit. Casting in the evening might suit better because, for example, today I had a full day of work today, so super busy. So yeah, we're just going to see how this goes, see which players we catch on the ladder, see if anyone can turn out, and see what the viewer numbers are like. Just kind of experimenting. So yeah, just that is the plan today. Let's have a look and see who we've got on the ladder. Well, that seems all right then, doesn't it? Okay, all right. Well, we got a bit of an interesting game to begin with here. Let me just load on into this one. Cool. All right. Cool. Well, that's pretty lucky to catch a sweet game like that. First one off the bat. I mean, I hope it's going to be sweet. It's got two good players anyway, so colour me hyped. If anyone has any thoughts about sort of optimal times for casting, I'm all ears because I'm still very much figuring out this whole Twitch and casting thing. But I guess, yeah, like I say, now that lockdown is easing, I'm having to do more work in the day, and most of my sort of British audience are also having to do more work in the day. So it might suit everybody a little bit better to do things in the evening. There's a 3-minute timer to the start of this game, everyone. Ha ha ha. I didn't think that would be the case. I'll tell you what, since there is a 3-minute starter, and that is approximately how long it takes me to go and make a cup of tea, I'm going to go and make a cup of tea. Because it just occurs to me, I cannot cast dry. That is the worst. So I'm going to go make a cup of tea. I'll be back in literally, what is that, like 150 seconds? Something like that. Keep it locked. Alrighty. Welcome back. I now have my tea sat next to me, brewing deliciously, and we are 15 seconds away from the imminent beginning of this game. So yeah, the table is set. The evening is young. There's excitement in the air. And we're going to see if that excitement is going to translate into a good game of Company of Heroes 2. This game now underway as I transition you guys in there. Here we go. Boom! Spawning in the east, playing as the Vermac pieces, it is Elpern, who is a tremendously skilled player who's given us some of the most besterest and amusing games on the channel in recent months. Spawning in the west, as the United States forces, it is Iroha. Just a similarly storied and epic player. Now, once again, asterisk, I assume that these two players really are who they have named themselves. They are, to the best of my knowledge, Elpen and Iroha, but in Company of Heroes 2, that seems to count for very little these days. So anyway, looks like our Vermac player Elpen here is going to go ahead and choose the Grand Offensive Doctrine. No, this is the Strategic Reserves Doctrine. I beg your pardon. Yes, my bad. They do look quite similar, those two blokes. They are in the long line of great German commanders who basically, essentially, when you're looking at, like, what is this, like 120 pixel square little portrait down here, kind of just looks like white German geezer with peaked, like, army hat. Like, that's... So anyway, got that one wrong there. But Strategic Reserves Doctrine, there are the abilities on your screen for those of you who want your memory refreshed. You get the Assault Grenadiers, you get the buffed Panzer IVs, you get the breakthrough equipment, you get the mobile observation posts, and you get the Tiger Race. And I would say solidly 3 out of 5 of those are pretty useful. The breakthrough equipment, I don't know, the jury for me is out on them. Panzer Grenadiers having smoke grenades is undoubtedly good, but is it good enough? I'm not sure. Looks like Elpen, though, going to be leaning into Assault Grenadiers, like, relatively heavily. Thorsten, what's going on, friend? Good to see you in chat. Yeah, this is a new thing that I'm trying, but as the world sort of eases out of lockdown and my UK audience and indeed my own time has more demands on it during the day, yeah, I'm trying out a little bit of streaming in the evening, and this way I get to catch the US players and I get to interact with the US crowd, so it's really cool. Glad that you're appreciating the different stream time here, Thorsten. So yeah, going to be leaning into Assault Grenadiers here as Elpen. Okay. We've seen I mean, my opinion on Assault Grenadiers over the last week, over the last month, has definitely been shifted. I used to basically think of these guys as sort of really like brutal in a negative sense. Like they are brute-like, very simple. They just deal damage at close range, which means that normally they just want to be moving straight towards opponents to get into close range. And they've got a couple of nifty tools. They've got sprint, they've got the grenade package, but I mean, you know, my opinion was basically that after the first 10 or 15 minutes, once your opponent has like some MGs and or vehicles and or upgraded squads, oh god, this has gone pretty bad for Elpen. Yikes. Uh-oh. Hang on now. Interrupting my train of thought with the possibility of a squad wipe. That Grenadier is going to sneak away. That would have been a game-changing squad wipe for sure. But anyway, yeah. So I used to think that these very simple, brutal units would just for the first sort of 10, perhaps 15 minutes. And then once your opponent gets a couple of MGs and some vehicles or anything like that, the utility of the Assault Grenadiers kind of falls off a cliff. But with the changes to their veterancy, making them much more survivable and crucially much more damaging, I think it's like somebody said 40% increased accuracy or something, which is a stack. Accuracy is, of course, the principal limiting variable for infantry squads in this game. So yeah, with those numbers in mind, and with the veteran squad leader, which is, of course, gives them a 6th squad member, yeah, Assault Grenadiers are actually reasonable in a mid and late game composition. I'm not convinced that they're the best, but they're viable. They can do stuff. I don't know about going up to 3 squads though. Elpen, bro, chill out, bro. Wow. Okay, we're going to be assaulting some Americans. Well, this is either going to work or it's not, and we get to watch. So that's fantastic. MG42 is, of course, going to be supporting these bad boys and catching some riflemen here under arc. Pretty standard stuff here from Iroha. Captain Tech will be the tech of choice, and so it's probably going to be an AA half-track. Yeah, this is probably a reasonable... Is this Vilshanka? Is that the name of this map? What's up, Kimbo Rat? Yes, CN is a mod here. But I'm not sure that he's literally here right now. Why? I'm curious. Yeah, so, okay. Alright, Elpen is actually making pretty good inroads into the west side of the map here. Taking map presence, Connex is not a mod here. Are you a bot? What are you? Are you gathering information? What's going on here? I'm curious. Yeah, so he's pushing on into the west of the map, which is quite nice. You don't normally see Vermax able to grab this much map presence this early in the game. He should be. State your case. So yeah, these 5-man squads are getting something done. Getting a bit low here though. Riflemen are still dangerous. We must respect the riflemen. And yeah, these Germans are going to be falling back. unable to sustain a fight against these Garan-toting Yanks. The BAR blazing, and the American player... Oh, he must have just done the... what is it? The requisition light vehicle. There it is. Mechanized Company Command Post. There you go. So he's just completed that research. How much is an AA half-track? So it's 50 fuel, just to refresh my memory and my game knowledge, because I'm not the most knowledgeable when it comes to American forces. So it does clock in at being 20 fuel cheaper than the Stuart, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. Oh, that's actually very interesting. I had assumed that they were almost the same price. But of course the AA half-track is actually just a little cheaper. The lieutenant is 35, the captain... Oh, I've already missed... If anyone in chat knows how much fuel a captain is, I would be curious to know. My knowledge of American forces is kind of so bad. But unapologetically so, I can't play as them. I'll leave that to everyone else. So it's going to be a 200 22 scout car here. Sonderkampfwagen, I believe. Was that what they were called? Something like that. So that's going to be rumbling out onto the field here. And they cost the same. Okay, cheers. Thank you very much, Pineapple Fruit. Cheers. Are you Pineapple Fruit guy, the Company of Heroes player, by the way, Pineapple Fruit? Because if so, we've definitely cast some of your games over the last month or two for sure. So anyway, yeah, 222 coming out here, and that's going to play into the more mobile, aggressive style that these Assault Grenadiers are supporting. Double ambulance, possibly a misclick. Yeah, that is you. Haha, cool. All right, welcome aboard, friend. So yeah, here comes the AA half-track. That's going to be coming out here, and it's going to be a delicate dance, as we've seen many times between US and Wehrmacht. And this 222 and this AA half-track. Oh, goodness me. Oh, the Rifleman squad gets away through the negative cover. MP40 is not great at that range, but, you know, they can still get hits. So, alright, where's the AA half-track? It's reversing out. So it has to come through these Grenadiers. They're going to scout it. That's definitely going to give this to... What the... Was that a telemine? What? It had to be a telemine. Jesus. I didn't see them put telemines there. That's awesome. What a bait. Elpern, with the big brain plays. He's like, hey, the American players almost always go for a fuel unit early on, whether it's the Stuart or the AA half-track. Captain says it's going to be a half-track. I'm going to put telemines down here, and then I'm going to make the fighting in the south, and I'm going to wave my 222 around. I'm going to put some attractive Assault Grenadiers here, and that should draw the flak half-track down this way. And sure enough, it did. And that flak half-track does not look good, does it? He actually built the 2 ambulances. Okay, well, okay, so, here's the advantage of this. If his medics get wounded, they can get healed by this other ambulance. Big brain plays. Also, you could hop out the medics, and then the medics can heal each other, and I'm pretty sure nothing in the game can kill that, right? That's true. So there we go. Pat gun is going to get added into the roster here for Elpern, and This is a very safe Pat gun. I suppose you still want the Pat gun, just because it's going to be useful going forwards. But this is a really safe Pat gun. You took out the AA half-track for free. So this Pat gun is some insurance against your opponent rebuying the light vehicle, I suppose. But I don't think the American player will be super interested in rebuying the flak half-track. We'll have to see. I mean, it's definitely a decision that's open for them. But I wouldn't have thought most Americans would want to rebuy that flak half-track here. Probably just try and play on without and do not let that impact the rest of your teching. We'll see, though. He has the fuel now. I mean, it's still a powerful unit at this timing in the game. Did he just lose a rifleman? Yeah, he did just lose a rifleman squad somewhere. I wasn't paying attention. Where did that happen? Don't know. So, rifleman squad going to go down there. 222 in jeopardy. Has to stay away from these riflemen. Don't want to get the engine busted. Of course, they do have the anti-vehicle rifle grenade at the ready. Oh, wow, it's going to be Recon Company into Greyhound. So, the M8 Greyhound going to be coming out onto the field. Okay, so this Pat gun looking a little bit smarter now. And the Greyhound immediately seeking to get to grips with the 222. Anti-vehicle rifle grenade is going to connect. There it is. And that'll be a dead 222. So there we go. How much is the Greyhound then? 60 fuel. Okay. And the armoured skirts. Oh, he's actually... Oh, does he already have the armoured skirts? Yeah, I think so. Oh god, the S minefield actually doing some work there. And the Pat gun's getting... Oh god, the Pat gun's going to get another shot. This could be a killing shot. Oh, jeez. Man, that shot seemed really slow. What was that pack gun crew doing? Was their line of sight being... I don't know. That just seemed like a very, very, very slow second shot. So there we go. So, I mean, this has been a really good early game, I think, for Elpern still. Despite the loss of the 2-2-2, we're still comfortably ahead, and we should be able to navigate this game where we want to as Wehrmacht. Everything to play for here. No, but seriously. Should be able to... Whatever Elpern's plans are, this game is definitely within acceptable tolerances. So, MG42 is going to push up to grab mid. We're going to grab another MG42. I like that a lot. Still no Panzer Grenadiers. Still no Grenadiers. In fact, of course, we skipped Infantry Company, but still no Panzer Grenadiers, which is interesting. I mean, they're not mandatory by any means, but I usually expect to see them by now. So yeah, we'll have to see. That's going to be a airdropped combat group coming in. So 80 munitions, 380 manpower. Going to drop in, what does that give you? It gives you a pack howitzer and paratroopers. Huh, interesting. Alright, well, there those guys are. Paratrooper support squad, who can just upgrade with Zooks or 1919s. They're going to go with the 1919s. And now the pack howitzer starts firing. So really using that is an awkward way of getting paratroopers in, isn't it, to be honest? Because you really just want the paratroopers that, well, I suppose that is quite a bargain pack howitzer thrown into the deal as well, actually. So no, definitely getting value out of all of that. 380 man per 80 munitions, yeah, that is pretty bargain. How much is a pack howitzer just by default? 340 manpower, okay. And these assault grenadiers consistently getting up on top of these riflemen. Look how good riflemen are, though, that they can kind of almost keep pace even at that range. It's kind of crazy. Greyhound going to come in, though, to close the pocket. And that's going to force these assault grenadiers away for now. Meanwhile, combat in the north, there's another squad of assault grenadiers. Going to scout the fact that paratroopers are now on the field, but I suppose Elpern probably already knew that because we did see the aircraft go over. So, alright, and 1919 LMGs finishing up in just the nick of the time. The captain here, BAR blazing. And that's going to force these assault grenadiers out of there. And, I mean, Elpern's roster is reasonable, but if anything happens to these MGs, he's in a really bad place. So it's kind of all about protecting these MGs right now. Greyhound manages to get through and fluster the pack gun. That's problems. And this is another sort of weakness of leaning into assault grenadiers like this. Of course, they do not get Fausts, and ordinarily, you would have loved to have connected a Faust up there, and that would have made life a lot easier here. I'm going to have to immediately rebuy the pack gun here. Elpern realizes that this pack gun is gone. So, that's problems, actually. And are there American troops nearby? No, luckily there aren't. It is Germans who are pushing up in the south of the map. So the pack gun is up for grabs in this position. It seems unlikely that the Greyhound will be able to destroy that. He's actually still firing at the retreating pack gun crew. Touch awkward. Assault Grenadiers here should be able to defend this pack gun. No, hang on though. Riflemen are moving up. This is the trouble with this composition, because if you lose the 222 and don't replace it, then all of your AT is in the pack gun, like literally all of it, because you don't even have Fausts on your Grenadiers. So if anything happens to the pack gun, that's a problem. Also though, if anything happens to the MGs, that's a problem, because then the American infantry is like probably going to win. 3 squads of Grenadiers does not beat paratroopers, riflemen, captain. So the second pack gun shows up in the nick of time. Incendiary ammo coming down. Oh, the Greyhound escapes with a pixel. Are you for real, son? Well, he's going to get that one out of there. That is nice. But the second pack gun is recrewed, so in the end, the damage here, acceptable for Elpern. Still maintaining control over half the map. Oh, so that's tight. That's nice. And kind of waiting for this one to warm up still, really, aren't we? It's just these two players playing a pretty good game, but nobody's committing super hard. I'm curious about this composition from Elpern, though, because I suppose with 2 pack guns you're okay. It's just with 1 it's very, 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 very fragile. Pack Howie is nuts on this map. Okay, I can believe it, but why particularly nuts on this map? I'm a noob. Help me out. I mean, I totally believe you, but tell me why. So the American player's going to add in an M1 AT gun. Let's check the tech here. Yeah, Battle Phase 2 is done. No sign of support armor core, which I'm kind of heartened by. I'm I'm not super stoked on support armor core tech these days. The Stug is nice, the Panzer IV is nice, but like, I just think I wish I saw more Wehrmacht players race for Brumbar, because it does transform the game a little bit. Like, I'm not saying it's necessarily the best thing to do all the time, but I just wish we saw it slightly more often. He can shoot from the position on the cutoff into Elpern's base. Oh, I see. Hang on a second. I'm going to crack the tack in a second and investigate your claim, but that does sound pretty good. So, okay. Angry German's going to push all the way up here, going to grab this cutoff, and that is really meaningful. That cuts off the munitions, the fuel. That's a lot of work to be doing. Of course, they have to fall back. They're fighting into a lot of American guns here. Wow, actually, he is staying for time here. Oh dear, and the pack howitzer is going to find the 2 pack guns. Why are both of our pack guns so clustered up here? There's no support for these pack guns. They're so exposed. The Greyhound could just rush them. I mean, if the Greyhound comes up around here, that's just horrible. I don't like having both the pack guns stacked up like this, because if anything happens to them, you lose them both. And that is all your AT. All of the eggs are in this one fragile basket. Also, if you keep them stacked up like that, of course, the pack howitzer shells, like the splash damage, hits them all, which is pretty rough. So, alright, so he can sit on the cutoff and flump into Elpern's base. You mean from, like, here? Oh yeah, that is actually really good, isn't it? Okay, fair enough. I take your point. So, okay. I worry that Elpern's composition is not very sophisticated. It's not a very technical list, is it? It's just a load of frontline geezers, the bare minimum AT guns, and 2 machine guns. And, like, kind of those 2 machine guns are, like, the most technical unit in the army, really, which is a little bit concerning for a Wehrmacht player at the 17-minute mark in the game. So, I hope for Elpern's sake that something spicy is coming. What are we doing here? It is going to be support armor core. Alright. Okay, then. So it could be the Panzer IV Ausf J. That is a thing that this commander gives you. And that's probably fine. That will probably be okay. I'm not super stoked on medium tanks generally, to be honest. I know the meta is like constantly being defined by medium tanks coming out at medium tank timings. But I just think if you're a canny player and you can find ways to avoid buying medium tanks and then buy some spice later on, but like accelerate that spice because you skipped your medium tank, well, I just think I really like that. But anyway. Pack howitzer shells raining in here, and it will be the Panzer IV Ausf J. As Elpern attempts to get to grips with the map. These paratroopers with 1919 start ripping into this exposed pack gun, though. 3-star veterancy is popping up on some of these assault grenadiers. The others will be following, assuming nothing too horrible happens to them. And then they will be much better. Man, the pack howitzer is in. Oh, he gets the paratroopers! Epic! Wow, that MG42 just splashing 2 of them down. Very nice. He even grabs the 1919 LMG. On assault grenadiers, perhaps a touch awkward, but still, hey, nice to have. That is going to be the M83 cluster bombs. Oh, he gets the MG42. Whoops, come on, mouse. But the hardware will be retrievable, right? Oh my god, did it actually destroy the gun? Wow. Huh? How does that work? Did like did another cluster bomb like hit on the MG42 and destroy it? That MG42 has been vaporized. Wow. Okay. I mean, that is a squad wipe then. That is, huh. Normally if you drop an MG42 and you can retrieve it, that's like not the worst thing in the world. But that one has been vaporized. Wow. Cluster bombs are actually, that's crazy. There we go. So here comes the Panzer IV Ausf J. We're going to have Panzer IV policing and patrolling the map, and immediately picks up the Greyhound, which has been annoying for some time now. So that's a fine one to pick up there. Going to start hosing into all these infantry who cannot really harm it. So for now, the Panzer IV, the Kingmaker on the field. And Elpern looking pretty good in this game. I'm still not sure what the overall plan is here. I feel like this composition is just like one step away from being really nice, but we're not there yet. The Panzer IV is a big help, though. The Panzer IV is a big help. And Iroha... Have we got Major Tech? Yeah, sorry. Major Tech is done. Alright. So we've got Sherman money in a second. He's stacking a lot of manpower, actually, as Iroha. That's a nice thing to have. Jeez, look at Americans. Aren't they really good? Oh, but he loses the major there. Loses the major just down here somewhere. Gets mowed down. So, God, this has been such an even game. Both players just trading evenly, pretty much, as fighting's been rampaging across the map. And now, once again, Axis forces going to drive in deep into American territory to grab this cutoff point. The American player desperately trying to do something about this. What is this? Oh, it's another paratroop assault group. Wow. Well, I mean, this seems great. The Pack Howitzer has looked fantastic so far, and I think having 2 of them will be really good. Hey, creative name. What's going on, friend? Glad you could catch us at this evening time slot. Evening Magpie here. Right, I reckon that tea's probably brewed. I'm so thirsty. Quickly pour myself a cup of tea. Hopefully nothing exciting happens. Hang on. This is where I look back and the Panzer IV is dead. My God, it's on death's door. There we go. Alright, I'm back. Oh, goodness me. That's much needed, that tea. Much needed. Been a long day for the Magpie today. A long day of work. So, okay, I love this American composition. Double pack howitzer, double anti-tank gun, double rifleman with great officer support, and, of course, the spicy paratroopers mixed in there. But he's having a hard time somehow getting out onto the map. There's MG42 and the assault grenadiers, one squad of which has been lost, actually, giving him a bit of a headache. Now, the repair speed on this Panzer IV is going to be pretty slow. Just one... No, actually, there are 2 squads of pioneers, but only 1 squad of pioneers attending right now. Pardon me. Is it at 2 stars of veterancy that they get the repair speed increase? Oh, okay, so that actually will repair quite quickly. I take it back. What's with the second ambulance? Good spot, creative name. Nobody knows. He kind of queued up 2 of them immediately, and it did look like a misclick. So yeah, I think Pineapple has it right. We were racking our brains, but yeah, it doesn't seem great. But at least it's not too expensive of a unit, eh? Can medic? I mean, medics are infantry, right? They can capture points. I don't know. You could send a squad out onto the map if you wanted, I guess. All right, so Elpern kind of gasping for manpower here. Definitely wants to be spending the fuel. Has had reasonable fuel income this game, but also would love to replenish some of this infantry. Would love to get just another squad. I think some Panzer Grenadiers right now would mix into the roster really nicely. Just diversify your threat lineup. They're a little bit more technical. They have the bundle grenade. You can give them Shreks. They have the STGs, which handle a little differently to the MP40s on these assault grenadiers. So I think I like that. Jackson, going to be the choice here for Iroha, reaching straight for the tank destroyer. And you have to think this makes a lot of sense. The Panzer IV is already on the field, and it is the House of J. The Flamer Pioneers died as well. Thanks very much, creative name. I think I'm definitely casting on like 80% energy levels and attention right now. Today has been, as I may have said, a long day. We have been staring at computer screens relentlessly doing spreadsheets most of the day, so a bit of a nightmare, but doing my best to cast some games here, and already hyped, to be honest, that we've caught Elpern versus Iroha. It's a great start. He's just lost more. I'm watching a Panzer IV driving around whilst he's losing units somehow. God damn it. I think I've caught hardly any unit wipes on the screen. Anyway, it looks like these paratroopers gonna reach for the Zook upgrade, and of course they do have Zook experts. So those are some pretty potent Zooks. They go, whoa, really potent Zooks. The Panzer IV on notice, double aim. This Panzer IV is like a paperweight now. Panzerwerfer. That's gonna be a nice choice here. Look at the AT resources that Iroha has suddenly like moved into. Okay, double AT gun. Zook expert paratroops and the Jackson. This is scary shizzle now. That Panzer IV can't really get much done, to be honest. I mean, Iroha is concentrating all of those AT resources on this tiny area, but if you spread out those AT guns and have the paratroopers being a like mobile like gap closer with the Jackson likewise, I mean, is that Panzer IV ever going to get anything done for the rest of this game? I think it's time to forget that. So I'm really glad to see that Elpern has teched up to the heavy Panzer Corps. That is going to be saving the manpower going forwards, and that's going to be a real benefit. So, pro tip, cast on the tactical map constantly. So That is actually a pro tip. I like it, Alpern. I like it. I like it. I'm going to save that one for someday when I'm like really tired, and then we can just cast from the TAC map like legends. That's hilarious. I love it. Anyway, Panzerwerfer is out, and I like the idea. I like the idea. Okay, the Panzerwerfer is a great choice. It counters pack howitzers. It counters AT guns. You can do stuff with it, but I really don't think it was necessarily the best choice. Well, I mean, it's difficult to recommend any of the other armoured units that are available to this Wehrmacht player either. This is so much anti-tank might as the Panzerwerfer barrage going to hoon on in over here. That is the worst spread I've ever seen. He got like a tiny bit of damage on the Jackson, I think, and a tiny bit on this pack howitzer. Yeah, okay, because it's a Jackson, that will give you some veterancy. So actually, perhaps not the worst barrage ever, but I feel like there were many targets under that radius. Just is it Vet 2 when you get the increases the accuracy at Vet 2? Yeah. Once the Panzerwerfers get to Vet 2, those rockets really do hit where you want them. But before then, you can get screwed over by some unlucky scatter, and that's what we're seeing there. So there you have it. Now, Panzer IV going to push out into the south. The Jackson immediately moves to check that. And this is what I mean. Is this Panzer IV ever going to feel good again this game? I don't know, man. I don't know. We need to make Panzer IVs great again. Okay, oh god. Oh god, the captain will be forfeit. That is much too much DACA. Surely not. Tell me no. Okay, there we go. That would have been some kind of insane RNG if that captain would have gotten out of there. So there we go. 260 munitions for the Wehrmacht player and no Pinzel on the Panzer IV. Actually, that's a really good spot creative name. Yeah, very interesting. Yes, Kimbo Rat, he has 2 ambulances. We think that he was using that for the crush. No, I'm just kidding. It was a misclick. I mean, Elpern's in a pretty terrible state here, aren't we? I mean, this Axis army is tiny and has no real ability to get on the map. Let's look at these units. Like the pack guns, they ain't going to be taking ground. It's not what they do. Not really. So that leaves you with these 3 infantry squads, which are fine, but there's not enough. So Panzer Grenadiers, good choice. All right, we're going to start moving on up. And then we've got the Panzer IV, which, to be honest, is so heavily countered that it is very difficult to use this Panzer IV right now with the AT resources that this American player is in possession of. And Iroha just gradually winning the fight here, just pushing Elpern under the water, and I'm not convinced that this Wehrmacht player is going to be able to get out, to be honest. Any squad wipes, I think even just any squad wipe from now on is almost game ending, because if you just keep putting the Wehrmacht player back down in terms of their infantry roster, how are they ever going to win this game in the amount of time that we have left? So, yeah, if there are any more squad wipes, I sort of think that's game for Elpern. Now, the Scott motor carriage is coming out. Hey, game! What's going on, friend? Good to see you in chat. Yay! Everybody's turning out. We're casting in the evening now. Well, we're giving it a try today, see how it feels, and yeah, hopefully it's going to be an option moving forwards. Anyway, Scott motor carriage is here on the field. Now, where is that thing? Here it is. Going to be casting some shells into the Axis. Panzer IV actually comes in. Oh, capitalizing on some sweet damage by the pack guns. All right, this is what we needed. Now the Jackson is down. The Scott motor carriage has to flee, but the Panzer IV, angry and relentless, chasing the Scott into the pack guns, and it will be defeated. And that is quite a value swing. Nicely done by Elpern, and I was being so critical of his chances in this game, but actually getting something done, going to destroy the American AT gun. And so what have we destroyed now? We've destroyed... We took out the Jackson and one of the AT guns, so that leaves the paratroopers and one of the AT guns. Now the Panzer IV is a fine unit, because those 2 things are not fast enough and do not cover enough of the map where the Panzer IV just can't really be used effectively. Now the Panzer IV is kind of alive again. Also, it has 2 stars of veterancy, which normally gives it the armoured skirts, but now it gives it main efficiency, main gun efficiency, just main gun efficiency, basically. So it's just a DPS buff. Okay. Okay. Alright, Elpern, I see what you're doing now. And now with 2 squads of Panzer Grenadiers, we are slightly more able to get out on the map. How much fuel are we on? Oh, we could buy a Brumbar pretty soon, or we could save for a Tiger, both of which fine choices. Not particularly sold on the fact, to be honest. I don't think this is a good Brumbar map. He's going to go for another Panzer IV. I take it all back. I don't know what I'm talking about. To be honest, actually, I really like the second Panzer IV here. I don't often say I like a second medium tank anywhere, but this one, it looks really good, because with 2 Panzer IVs, you can actually mob the American infantry with Panzer IVs. I mean, like, even the paratroopers with Zook Expert have to be a little bit careful with 2 Panzer IVs about the place, and the AT gun will die if it is caught out of position for an instant. So I like going up to 2 Panzer IVs here, which I feel like I rarely say. Has the Rakettenwerfer... Okay, it has been firing. The Panzerwerfer, I keep calling it the wrong thing. It is still alive. I must have missed the second barrage it took. Let's give it a hotkey. All right. So... Now, there was a moment there where Elpern was able to get out from under the clock, but the American forces are already going to be redressing that. Axis forces taking mid, so this will be only a cap, a regular cap. Not a triple cap, but down at 147 under 345. Elpern doesn't really have time to give right now, and a Jackson is going to be rebought for Iroha. Once that Jackson comes out, I mean, to be honest, this is still a fair fight, because 2 Panzer IVs and versus a Jackson with support, I mean, that can go either way, so... This is going to be very interesting to see what happens here. Panzer Grenadiers are going to come into contest here, but now we're dying at 2 per tick, so this is pretty bad still for Elpern. Angry Germans heading southwards here will displace these riflemen and secure south in time here. But is the damage already done? Well, some damage is already done. Is it too much damage? We're going to find out. Pack howitzers still blazing away. Aren't they pretty damn good? Was that a bundle grenade that just missed on an attempt for a squad wipe? There's the Rakettenwerfer. Oh, that's a great barrage! Oh, he gets really unlucky on the scatter again! Oh, we all saw that rifleman squad and thought for a moment he might be dead, and the ambulance too could have been forfeit, but the rockets just didn't land the way they needed to for either of those realities to translate. So we've still got a Panzerwerfer that's on, what is this? So few... What the... How are we up to so many viewers? Olvadi with the raid. Thank you very much, Olvadi. Welcome aboard, everybody. You're here with Evening Magpie, casting Elpern versus Iroha. And as we're moving into the late stages of this game at the moment, thank you very much once again, Olvadi. Sick host, my friend. Really appreciate the support. Wow, look at us go. 71 million viewers. That'll do. That'll do. So Elpern at the moment, desperately scrambling to try and stay off the clock, doing what needs to be done at the moment. The 2 Panzer IVs, a highly mobile threat that is keeping the American forces at bay for now, but the Jackson is out once again. And, it's going to find this Panzer in the north. Lone Panzer, and there are Zook experts in the hood. This looks pretty severe. The Jackson takes a hit. The Panzer IV will be able to exfiltrate safely here, but that was pretty close. And I believe Iroha should be able to take back north. That is okay, but Elpern still has to be very careful here. Maybe it bugged out? I don't know, or maybe everyone was just like, this Magpie guy sucks, let's bail. Whatever. It was a raid of 38. I don't know, maybe it was bugged. I've not got the raid alert either. Like, there's no dun thing popped up, which is, like, weird, because I definitely fixed those, so it should have worked. Goodness knows what's going on. Might have to go back to the drawing board and test those, who knows. Anyway, there's the Panzerwerfer again. Oh, he's firing up into the north. Finds the Jackson for meager damage only. And, yeah, we're going to have to do better than that to justify the cost of this Panzerwerfer. 2 Panzer IVs in desperate need of repairs, and those they will get here in the base. But whilst that's happening, Elpern is bleeding out again. And that's the old problem. That is the real enemy here, is going to be the clock. And we just can't let Iroha keep accessing these VPs, but there's nothing else for it. One of the Panzer IVs is now repaired. And this infantry roster still so small, just not really been able to, oh, he clustered the packs? Oh no. God damn it. I think I've definitely gotten better at casting since I started casting on Twitch, but only because chat points out things that I miss in real time. Thanks, guys. Yep. That's the nature of it. So, whoa, paratroopers get, is that 2 stars? When do they do that? Do paratroopers just always have ambush tactics? Is that a thing that they have? Is that part of the Zook upgrade? They camouflage in cover as part of the Zook upgrade. Well, that's pretty dope. I didn't know that. Wow, okay, well that's really useful. I mean, obviously it's useful in the late game for creeping onto points as well. Panzer IV immediately and unluckily runs into the Zook experts. The Jackson is probably going to be on its way over here. It already is firing. But the Zook experts get flushed. The Panzer IV with some serious friendly fire there. Gibbs an Assault Grenadier. And what is that? That's an M1AT gun hitting the South Panzer IV. The Assault Grenadiers kind of get up on top of the pack howitzers for a moment here, but there are enough American guns around here that I don't think it's going to be a problem. They will be covered here. Pioneer's going to give it their all and come through here as well. Elpern gets himself off the clock. Was that the Panzerwerfer barrage? Yep, Panzerwerfer barrage coming in. Oh, another barrage just kind of not finding value there. That's so frustrating. God damn. And, And just like that, the Axis forces will be broken, the panzers in need of repairs, the infantry exhausted. They will be forced back to base, and that's really rough. So it's really weird that we didn't get a notification for that follow. I'm gonna have to, sorry for that host. After this game, I'm just gonna quickly like log into Muxy and just like make sure everything's working as intended, because that's just strange. Have I got the alerts thing on? Yeah, I do. That's weird. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. Alright, Elpen, what do you do? Well, it looks like he's going to dispatch the Panzer Grenadiers to try and get onto the South VP. 100 tickets under 277. The situation looking grim. Only a very small infantry roster to work with here for our Axis player. And actually accumulating quite a lot of fuel, though. So I don't know if perhaps there's some sort of fuel spending choice that might be super useful in this game. Actually, wow, get some Panzer Grenadiers onto the cutoff as well. Fair enough. Making use of the smoke grenade, I believe, that the Panzer Grenadiers get from the Strategic Reserves Doctrine. Assault grenade package finds the Zook experts. Oh god, they're getting gunned down! Can he get the kill on this squad? That would be so good. The 3-star Assault Grenadiers desperately doing their best. Not enough in the end. One of them... Did he get them? He did get them! What? That was a long-range snipe for an MP40. Good god. Nice shooting, son. Alright, gets that. One of the Zooks is on the ground, but hey, he got rid of the Zook expert squad. That's actually... That could be big if he's able to survive in this game. We'll see. It depends. The game may just end. Oh god, he gets tagged by an anti-vehicle grenade, so one of the Panzer IVs may well be forfeit here. The other Panzer IV comes across to try and help. Now he needs to try and sneak that Panzer IV out of there. Oh god, this is so close. Look at this Jackson. This is a great position for the Jackson, just taking shots. Actually, he's going to sneak the Pioneers into the pocket to try and save the Panzer IV. Okay, Alpen. Interesting strategy, but the Jackson is going to be able to reverse here. Panzerwerfer Barrage picks up an AT gun at last. Fantastic stuff. Assault Grenadiers, Bundle Grenade in a nice position. Elpen playing within an inch of his life here. 74 tickets and still bleeding, but he keeps the Panzer IVs in a situation where it seems certain that one of them was going to die. Jesus, that looked pretty good. Yeah, Tiger Ace is like one of the things that's on the horizon here. That could definitely happen. All right. And now he's kind of pushing. Whoa, I don't think that's wise. Yeah, he will be punished for that. That Panzer IV being a little too aggro, to be honest. With the Jackson still at full. Double Jackson now. Ugh. Ugh. You know, with double Jackson, I'm not even convinced the Tiger Ace really does much, to be honest. Because, I mean, this map's actually big enough that a Tiger Ace cannot be in every place that it needs to be at once, and its slow speed is a vulnerability. And with two Jacksons that can just be punishing it, I'm just not convinced that actually that a Tiger Ace really will do what Elpen needs to get done. Having said that, though, Elpen claims 2 of the victory points and gets out from under the clock, so 68 tickets and stable for now. God damn, these pack howitzers are taking a terrible toll. Just doing damage. Every hit they get on these, there's only 5 German infantry squads, so any hit they get is just massive because it forces the squad back. And this game is entirely about Elpen desperately contesting victory points, so by forcing squads back, you are doing the thing you need to do to win the game. So these pack howitzers, they are being money right now. Oh my god, they're getting so much work done. Elpen going to fall his boys back after the cap mid here. Nice work. Double Jackson still on Overwatch. We are going for Tiger Ace here. That is what's happening. Oh no, he spends on a Panzer Grenadier squad. Interesting. Alright, recognizing that we do need infantry to win the game, I think that's sensible. I don't know, what do you guys think? I mean, a Brumbar doesn't make much sense. It's too slow and it will just get ripped up by Jacksons. Second Panzerwerfer? What do we think about second Panzerwerfer? That could be interesting. I'm not convinced it's good. How much is a Panzerwerfer? Alright, second Panzerwerfer, hear me out, with a view to getting a third. What about that? We've got the fuel, we just need the manpower up now. That's ludicrous. I know. I'm just trying to think out the box here. Yeah, I think if you do that, then... I don't know. It just doesn't seem very good. Alright, Rifleman on the chopping block here. I think these Pioneers desperately trying to get it, but they're not gonna. And Elpen is under the clock once again. 62 tickets. Hey game, you'd go for Panther. That's actually very interesting. Yeah, I actually like that. The Panther fits the bill in a number of ways. Actually, I had overlooked that when I was thinking about what to get. The Panther fits the bill in a number of ways. It's mobile. It has range to deal with the Jacksons. It's affordable, crucially. And I think the Tiger Ace is not affordable now. We're looking at, what, 2.5 minutes of saving if we don't reinforce any squads to get to that Tiger Ace. Not going to happen this game. So I think, yeah, Panther is actually fits the envelope of our needs and requirements perhaps the best. It's still a tough Panther to buy though into 2 Jacksons. That is tough, but with the Panzer IV to work with, we can probably make something happen in that fight. So okay, Rifleman getting wasted. Bundle Grenade of Destiny. Oh, that almost looked great. Smoke Grenade as well in a plumb position. Elpern getting more value out of the Strategic Reserves Doctrine Commander here. Grabs a Zook up onto his Panzer Grenadiers. Okay, nice stuff, I like it, but he's still under the clock. 47 tickets and counting. Assault Grenadiers will be capping mid. The Heavy Panzer Corps, 25% speed buff on the cap rate there will be helping. But is it enough? The Panzer IV actually going to take a nose into the base here. Definitely wants an ambulance, and it will find one. Good thing then that Iroha has got 2. So that second ambulance, no coincidence, definitely providing value in this game. Another bundle grenade. How many munitions have you got, Elpern? Jeez, he's just spending them. Okay, 312 fuel. I really don't think a Tiger Ace is good enough here. Because it's just too slow. You're going to die with a Tiger Ace on the field. That's what I feel like. He's going to go for the Panther. Again, see, I like this because you can afford it, and then you can put your manpower straight back into buying infantry squads, which is what we need to not die. And that's important. Not dying is important. So that's my feeling right now. Alright. Assault Grenadiers just continuing to get work done. Look at Elpern dominating the map with this ragtag band of Axis forces, but he's actually trimmed away so much of this American army that was so scary. We're down to just the core infantry, essentially, with a Pathfinder squad and 2 pack howitzers, supported by the 2 Jacksons. That is actually not much compared to what Iroha had. We had so many amazing squads. We had paratroopers, we had M1AT guns, we had officers blazing, but they've all been lost. That's the that's the Panzerwerfer, sorry. Oh my god, you'd have thought the one thing it would be good for is forcing an American squad who's capping a VP to fall back, but no. The rocket scatter betrays again, and the Jacksons, whoa, they get the pick off on the Rakettenwerfer. I'm a split second too late to catch that on camera. And that, I mean, to be honest, actually, the Rakettenwerfer is probably the one unit that Elpern can afford to lose without it impacting the game too much. So that's fine. That is actually okay. And now the Jacksons are flustered. The Panther comes forward. We're getting good damage on these Jacksons. The Panzer IV still repairing. He is going to send it into the fight at half health, though. And the Panzer Grenadiers here have a Zook. The engine on the Panther gets busted, and this is the final fight now, as both players commit all resources. Oh no, he splits fire! Why are we splitting fire? Surely... Okay, he gets that Jackson. Oh my god, he's a genius. By splitting fire, he actually sets himself up with a chance to kill this Jackson, and the rate of fire on a 3-star Panzer IV is going to outstrip the rate of fire on the Jackson for the kill! But the rear Esh here going to convert that one. And now it's an infantry war. Now it's Panzer Grenadiers with Assault Grenadiers and Pioneers blazing against these kinds of American wrath. What a crazy, crazy battle here. Roha got enough munitions for 2 bars on every rifleman. That's probably a good point, yeah. Yep, yeah, he sure does. Or a lot of cluster bombs, you know, might be saving for those cluster bombs. But yeah, sure, we could definitely put BARs on the rifleman. That's a really good point. Pen Clip 5, Pen Clips. I don't believe I've seen you in chat. Welcome aboard, friend. Welcome to the channel. So, alright. Pack howitzers still plying their deadly trade, though. Jackson gonna be on the way. Elpern still has fuel. Do you think spam 222s here? How much? No, we don't have the manpower for it. It would be interesting, though, because with 222s actually beat everything, and if you spam them, you can, with the infantry, take out the Jackson. I don't know. Yeah, but we don't have the time to get up to 2 or 3 of them. I don't know. I'm just... clearly, when I cast in the evenings, my brain is just full of crazy ideas or something. What is that Axis OP emote that you've managed to get up in chat, creative name? That is a new one on me. Axis OP. I don't know about that. I don't know. Look, I'm just glad that Wehrmacht are finally getting their day in the sun. Okay, let's let them have a moment here. There's no single thing about Wehrmacht that I reckon is stupidly OP at the moment. Maybe some adjustments need making here or there, but I think they're actually okay. And I'm just enjoying seeing Wehrmacht games, to be honest. It feels like such a long time since we had a real good season of Wehrmacht. So anyway, Oh my god, these riflemen on the chopping block. And is Elpern doing it? Oh my god, he's off the clock. He's going to get those riflemen, right? He's going to get the riflemen. Oh my god, that rifleman sneaks away. Bundle grenade here. Just goes a little bit long though. And now the Panzer Grenadiers are on the chopping block. American forces focus firing. The received accuracy is favoring this Panzer Grenadier. He's looking like he's going to get out of that. That is a ridiculous run to have made. Oh my god, and a Panzer IV is going to be the rebuy. Oof size large. Now following. Thank you very much for the follow, my friend. Really appreciate the support. Third week streaming on Twitch here. And we're just finding our feet, getting the feel for the channel together and figuring out exactly what we're doing with Twitch. But really appreciating all the love and support from everyone who's following and watching. And yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Or ma'am. God damn it, it's 2020. Can't be assuming people's genders anymore. I forget this. Even though, I mean, I'm casting a World War II RTS, so I would put money on my viewer base being like more male-based than female. I don't think that's too out there to say. Anyway, so okay, well the follow notifications are working, but not the raid that from Olvadi. So that's weird. I don't quite understand what's up with that. That's so weird. Why can't I get these alerts to work? Okay, anyway, so one of the squads of Pioneers gets taken out. The Panzer IV is broken right now, so it needs to link up with the Pioneers. Good God, there's a lot going on right now. Both forces... Okay, there's fighting going on all three of the VPs. There's Panzer Grenadiers going to actually kill these rear Esch. Oh my God. No. These Panzer Grenadiers are not going to beat these riflemen as well. I mean, they actually look like they might. No, okay, not with one STG. Actually, they've got no STGs. Those are just Panzer Shreks now. Boys, we need to... Oh, he loses the Panzer Grenadiers, which we can't be doing. He's on 11 tickets. And you have to feel like that actually is game. The last hurrah from Elpern here, playing a very amusing and entertaining Strategic Reserves Doctrine game with a very strategic reserves composition. It was all Assault Grenadiers and Panzer IV Ausf Js, and that makes for a very interesting game. We saw nary a Grenadier squad be made, and yeah, I mean that is unfortunately it for Elpern. In it to the last ticket, but now defeated. What a great game! That was just a great game. I really enjoyed that one. A lot of back and forth action, a lot of spectacular moments, a lot of important moments that I missed off camera because I rock. And just a very entertaining game. So cool. All right, let's see who else we can find in the ladder. Feeling it. Welcome to Evening Magpie. As I take a sip on my tea here. For those of you just joining us, it's been a long day for Magpie. We've had a lot of work to do. So I'm coming into this stream rather drained and tired. But I'm already feeling more awake and excited and hyped. That was a sick game. Barton PL? Oh, it's been a hot minute since we've cast Barton. Yeah. I mean, we just have to cast the Barton game, don't we? Oh, there's Oh, hang on. There's PGA versus Elpern. Or... there's a Barton game. Okay, all right, chat. All right. Here's the thing, chat. Okay, type 1 if you want to see Barton PL versus Invor on Kolodny Farm. Type 2 in chat if you want to see Tiramashit, who is Panzer Grenadier and Griffin, versus Elpern. That is probably going to be a banger of a game. So let me know, chat. What do you guys fancy? I can't be asked to put up an actual poll. That takes more button clicks. Just type 1 for the first game on Kolodny Farm. Type 2 for the Tiramisu and... sorry, the PGA and Elpern game on Crossing in the Woods. Datton, my friend, what's going on? Welcome to chat. All right, come on, chat. Give me some numbers here. What do people want to see? It's the people. It's democracy in action. Let's make your voices heard. Farton's opponent. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't recognize that name either. So, a couple of votes here for 2. That's it. It's an evening stream. It sure is, Datton. Are you UK based, Datton? Are you in or are you in Europe? Or are you like US? I'm curious. All right, I think we're going to cast the Crossing in the Woods game, even though it has a bit of a time delay, because I just think it's going to be better. PGA versus Elpern. Crossing in the Woods is a sick map. Let's cast it. Oh, sorry, Creative. Your vote came in just after I clicked it. A lot of people say Grenadiers are unplayable. What, regular Grenadiers? Oh, okay. Cool, you're in Austria. Sweet. All right. We're loading on in. This one's going to have a bit of a start time delay again, I'm afraid. We'll see how long it is in just a second here. And our survey says 2 minutes. All right, people. All right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just go and stretch my legs for a quick second, give my voice a break, maybe grab a quick snack, and I'll be back with you in exactly 120 seconds. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Stay tuned for what is sure to be a great game between PGA and Elpern. I'll be right back. Greetings! What is up, and a very warm welcome back to this evening Magpie Company of Heroes 2 live game casting session. It's just occurred to me that I probably should have updated the stream information so that it doesn't say midday Magpie, because it ain't midday, or at least not here. Although, if you are tuning in and it's midday where you are, that is fortuitous. Right, without further ado, let us get into our second game of Company of Heroes 2 this evening. Featuring a Spawning in the South playing as the Overcommand West pieces, it is Tiramashit, who I am led to believe is actually Panzer Grenadier Angriffen, who is a little bit pissed off at Tiramisu, apparently. Spawning in the North playing as the Soviet forces, it is going to be Elpern. Looks like Tiramisu. Okay, I know that this is Panzer Grenadier Angriffen, but in this game, their screen name is Tiramashit, and I'm going to be calling them that, or maybe just Tira. Because otherwise I'm going to get confused as hell as this game goes on. So everybody knows, and if anyone in chat asks, this is apparently Panzer Grenadier Angriffen, but I will be calling them Tira. Tira here, going to go ahead and choose the Feuersturm Doctrine. One of the doctrines which, in its initial state, and for quite some time, was kind of meh, but definitely usable now, and even a little bit spicy. Like, it can just do some things that I really like. So there we go. Oh, creative name, buddy. Grab yourself some snacks and a beer or something, man. We'll catch you when you get back. Let's see. I'm just reading back through chat. Okay, yeah, we're all cool. We're all caught up. Nice. All right, let me just see if I can just quickly change the stream information so it doesn't say midday Magpie. Let's see. Oops. Evening Magpie, live game casting. There we go, that'll do. Nice. All right. So, let's have a look. Was it okay? It is techless here so far from Elpern. Cool, keeping it techless, going with conscripts. I can get behind that. Double Storm Pioneer opening. Double Storm Pioneer, no Kubel. Okay. What's going on with that? Oh, this is a Feuersturm build. That's why. Aha. I see what you're doing, Tira. Good stuff. Okay. Looks like these conscripts gonna throw down sandbags, gonna grab fuel. Storm Pioneer's gonna come on in here. These conscripts going to desperately try and sort of kite back towards their mates, and now we're going to try and take this fight. So nicely done there by Elpern, as I'm probably going to get the better end of these Storm Pioneers as this opening phase of this game gets underway. Double Volks Grenadier hot on the tail of these Storm Pioneers. Fourth squad of conscripts coming out of here for the Soviet player. It's going to be a Soviet airborne pick. I'm surprised. Huh. Looks like everyone's just running the infantry DPS bulletins, except we also have Jaeger light infantry squads have 2% more accuracy and 3% increased sight. Not every day you see that one on. Won't be playing a part in this game, of course. And everything else is just conscripts grenadiers and panzer grenadiers build 10% faster. That's an interesting one. Huh, that's pretty cool. So, okay. Those are the bulletins here. Volksgrenadiers going to be moving on over here. And I guess... Well, we're still only 3 minutes in. Man Company of Heroes 2 takes a little bit at the start of the game. But soon we're going to see whether it's going to be Mechanized Reg or Battalion HQ for Tiramashit. And Elpern's still going techless for now, but that's absolutely fine. Of course. I don't really get worried for Soviet players until they go past like the 7.5 minute mark. Still techless. Oh, come on. What is up with this mouse bug? It's so annoying. Yeah, sometimes you see Soviet players just try and play past like the 7 minute mark with like 4 squads of conscripts and an engineer squad or 2, and it's like, bro, your opponent's got machine guns and stuff, like you're not going to be winning. So yeah, I like throwing down tech before then. What is up with that? It's so annoying. Gosh. I apologise for that because it makes the camera movements really, really jerky. What percentage increase sight? 3. So not a lot. But when you're increasing a radius, even a small increase is usually noticeable, so there we go. Great choice on the early mine detector, Datton. Going to negate a lot of munitions with that. Okay, yeah, very interesting actually, because Soviet players, they do love throwing down mines all over the place. Oh, you think you think that might not even increase it by a hex or a tile or whatever they're called in this game? Okay, yeah, that's interesting. This game has the true line of sight that's measured by distance though, right? So it will slightly increase it. Am I right? Oh, not gonna negate the munitions of those mines there. So a couple of Volksgrenadiers will lose their lives running through a little bit of a minefield there. Schwerwehrmacht Schlepper on the way, and that will give us a clue about how Tura wants to direct this game in terms of their composition and build. And it will be the support weapon Campanile coming down here for Elpern. Pretty standard stuff. Soviet airborne doctrine. Well, I mean, seasoned players in chat, tell me, what are your thoughts about this commander these days? Because, I mean, obviously the price of the SVD crates was adjusted by 15 munitions from 45 to 60 in the last patch. And that is a 33% price increase. But I still think that that's absolutely fair. And the rest of the commander is very interesting and pretty cool. So... I actually think that this is still quite cool. I wish airborne rally points and forward rally points generally were more of a thing in this game, because they're really interesting to watch, and they are one of the very few ways you can get a bit of like dynamic momentum into the game. You know, you can make a push feel like a real death push. Like if you don't hold it off, you might die, and it rarely feels that way in like the early and mid game in Company of Heroes 2. So I do like forward fallback like stuff in the game, but none of it is really used ever in the high level of play because it's just not good enough. So. I would love to see this do more. I would love to see this do more. I would like to see the airborne rally point used and just do some stuff, but I don't think we're going to see it. So let's see. I think line of sight still works based on a grid. So yeah, increases sight from 35 to 36. Impressive. So okay, Zisgun going to be the first one out here, and it is a mechanized Reg HQ. So that Zisgun is probably going to have a Panzer II to be firing at as this game goes on. SVD crates now arriving for Elpern. So those conscripts going to be getting a DPS buff in the form of the semi-automatic SVD rifle, and that will be most welcome. I do like conscripts with SVDs. It makes me a little bit sad that you can't get 7-man squad upgrades when you have SVDs, though. Mortar squad? Oh, Elpern. I think I really like it. I think I would have liked Maxim first and then Mortar. But I think I really like it. There are mines here being revealed by these Storm Pioneers, so Tira will know about those. What's the price on the forward fallback points? It's been a hot minute since I've looked. It is 100 manpower, 15 fuel. There you go, Dan. That is quite cheap. But yeah, so, I mean, we can... oh, you know what? Of course, though. Yeah. Of course. So, no, I do like buying the mortar because, of course, I forgot. Yeah, you can just call in the Dansak. So, sorry, the Dushka. So, yeah, now we can call in a Dushka MG if we want. And, like, say what you like about the differences between the Maxim and the Dushka and whether or not it's worth the munitions to call in the Dushka, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's some debate to be had there. But I like using the cool special units that commanders give you, and I like the sound of the Dushka. I mean, it's a freaking 50 cal, man. You cannot not want to see that in the game. So, yep. Hoping that we're going to see a 50 cal here. Look at the amount of map presence that the OKW player, Tira, has been able to accumulate as this game has gone on, though. It's looking real spicy. Puma first? What? I mean, I know Soviet players like T-70s, but, like, this is a very early Puma. I'm a little bit confused by this Puma first. Because if you build the Puma before your opponent shows you the T-70, or at least if you reveal it, right, then they just know not to get a T-70. Like, why give value to this Puma by buying a T-70? Save that fuel, tech faster, do something else. Anyway, here comes the Opel Blitz truck, so that's a thing. Anti-vehicle grenades have been done on these conscripts, and we can see they have broken the engine on this Puma. He's even going to grab the cutoff with these conscripts as well, actually. That's real nice. With these conscripts, even. So that's pretty spicy. Okay, these conscripts need to turn tail. Capturing that point would be lovely, but we cannot risk losing the conscripts with SVDs. We cannot risk losing the conscripts. So yeah, where's this mortar squad pushed up to? Alright, he's got it in a relatively... oh, no way. He's actually shelling these guys over here instead. Okay, fair enough. Bit of an awkward position. They could get attacked over here, but doing some work, at least, for the motherland. The Puma is kind of okay versus infantry. Yeah. And... The point of the Puma is kind of to accumulate vet, but it doesn't vet up quickly against infantry. I mean, we've got a quarter or a third of a bar of veterancy, 3 infantry kills. All right, yeah, I mean, it's doing some work against infantry, but it's a very expensive way of vetting up infantry and or vetting up a Puma. And for all the veterancy that this Puma has just gotten, it put more veterancy than that on those conscripts by just being shot and by taking the AT grenade. So, like... yeah, getting veterancy on the Puma is worth more than veterancy on conscripts, but you have to be careful with it because he has already fed veterancy to these conscripts with the Puma, so like, it's not even super efficient from a veterancy point of view, I guess is what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, if our plan is to go on and get this Puma to 3 and 4 stars, which is when it really does start kicking ours, then yeah, I could see bringing it in early. And I suppose to a certain extent, maybe you just don't want to play against a T-70. Maybe you're just going to show your... he's going to build a T-70 anyway. What? I mean, I guess he has a Zis gun and conscripts, so, I mean, the T-70 is totally still usable, but I feel like we're just building the perfect target for this unit that our opponent has. I don't know. I guess in Company of Heroes 2, I'm quite a big believer in, like, denying your opponent's value by building a composition that their units are bad against. And I don't want to... I'm not trying to sound sarcastic or anything, but, like... oftentimes I just see players, it's like my opponent builds a tank hunter, and like the only way that's good is if I build a tank, and like that's kind of like we're seeing a small version of what I just said happening here. So, okay, well he's going to build a T-70 into the Puma. That has now happened. That is a commitment that he's made. And it's like, the T-70 can do well against Pumas, certainly with a Zis gun, and certainly with conscripts with AT vehicle grenades, you know, with AT grenades, sorry. So... yeah, okay, I mean, I'm open to seeing something happen. And perhaps, I mean, Elpern has been on the back foot a lot of this game. Most of the action has been on the north side of the map. OKW units have been marauding. So perhaps Elpern actually just feels like we kind of need the T-70 to hold off this infantry, and it is good at that. So that's fine. But you know what else is good at holding off infantry? Like machine guns. And we could have bought a machine gun for cheaper. So I still don't necessarily, like... I still don't really like the T-70. Mad Hat says, without the T-70, Soviets struggle in the infantry fight and lose a lot of squad wipe potential, and it's manageable against the Puma as long as you don't suicide. Absolutely, I completely agree with you. I still think that if the infantry fight is what is worrying you, go for a Dushka. And or a Maxim, or a pair of Maxims. I mean, this is crossing in the wood. Pair of Maxims is good. This is established. We know double MG is good on this map. Alright, the T-70 and the Puma having a little scuffle down here. And as for squad wiping potential, like, you don't really need to worry about that with Soviets. Like, it's just worry about winning the fights and holding ground for now. Like, worry about getting squad wipes later on. You normally get your squad wipes with Soviets with cheese anyway, like mines and just cheesy stuff. Like, although I appreciate, yeah, the I appreciate the T-70 can get squad wipes because it can overrun and do useful things. Whoa, he's hemorrhaging conscripts actually. Wow, nice work. These MP40 Volksgrenadiers are kicking ass. But as I was saying, it's hard to pursue with the T-70 when your opponent has a Puma, right? So I don't think that the squad wiping on the T-70 is even that good, as long as your opponent has a Puma. Oh, he gets an MG34 further up on the field. Oh no, now the T-70 is just, that is a dead T-70, right? There's no way you're going to get that out of there before the Puma kills it. Yep. Okay. This is kind of playing out the way I thought it would. I mean, even with the Zis gun covering the T-70, the Puma can actually get out, and Elpern has seen enough. Elpern has seen enough. GG! Wow, okay. Yeah, that went really bad. Elpern, couple of questionable decisions there, for my point of view, anyway. Yeah, that was just a really interesting game. I'm still trying to take apart, like, just some of the choices that those players made. But there we go. It's Company of Heroes 2. It is a slightly chaotic RTS. Not everything makes super streamlined sense all the time. So we've got 4Res and Invor. We've got CCR, SO3, and Naughty Nazi. Okay. We've got Prabuti and Little Kimbo. So no massive names out there at the moment. I mean, 4Res is a damn good player, so I'm going to jump in. Invor I've never heard of before, but Invor is consistently being matched up against people at the top of the ladder and is the top-rated game on the ladder right now. And we've not cast Faymanville yet, and we've not had Wehrmacht versus Soviets yet. So I'm going to jump into this one. Versus Puma, he could have made guards. Yeah. The guards that you get off of the Airborne Doctrine don't actually have the SVD rifle. They don't have the help me out here. The Soviet anti-materiel rifles. Christ, what are they called? PTRS. They don't have the PTRS rifle. The Dushka. Yeah, the Dushka would have been. The Dushka would have been really good because it actually helps against the Puma as well. Yeah, Datton with the good points there. So you're right to a certain extent. People are just trying weird builds, and the ladder is for that. Like, you know, unless you really care about your ladder points, which to be honest, you shouldn't. But if you've decided you care about your ladder points, that's fine. But, you know, generally speaking, the ladder is for messing around. It's all best of ones. You can try weird builds. You can hide your screen name. Do whatever you want. So, yeah, definitely I think some of these players are... We're not witnessing tournament play. This is not a best of X, you know. So, yeah, for sure. There's some leeway for just saying, hey, these players are doing weird things. But there's doing weird things, and then there's building a light tank when your opponent has a Puma. And it's like, Anyway... 4Res here are going to go straight ahead and pick the Mechanized Assault Doctrine. So it looks like 2 for 2 Wehrmacht games here. We're going to see Assault Grenadiers do their thing, hopefully against Soviets this time, rather than against US. And you have to feel like the Assault Grenadiers are going to have a better time against conscripts than they are against riflemen. So, yeah, all to play for here for these Assault Grenadiers. This commander, of course, has probably been throughout the history of the game one of the most played, the most storied, and the most useful Wehrmacht commanders. All of those abilities are great, and it is a rare commander where you can say all 5 of the things it brings are great. But Assault Grenadiers, awesome, a transformational unit. Mechanized Assault Group, very useful, and now that the 250 half track is a real unit, it's excellent. The Stug 3 Alsif E, amazing. We've seen it win a handful of games that I've cast over the last month easily. It's a great unit. It's cheap, it kills infantry, it wins games because it makes it very hard for your opponent to get onto the victory points. And it vets up quickly. And with veterancy, it's just a great unit. I'm going to stop talking about it. Light Artillery Barrage, a reasonable munitions dump. It's absolutely fine. It's actually quite squad wipey if you put it down on anti-tank guns and stuff because it arrives quite quick. What the? Picks up a kill on the engineer squad. Goodness me, Invor, that's not great. So, and then of course the Tiger Tank. I mean, so you've got access to that sort of line of play and that late game plan if you want it. So, I would not play Vermax without this commander on my roster. Fact, he's so good. So there we go. That's my thoughts on this commander. In fact, I reckon on balance, there's a really good argument that this is probably the best Vermac commander of all time. And then Invor, going to be running with Guard Motor Coordination Tactics commander again, who I am mystified. I fully acknowledge this is a good commander and is a personal favourite of mine, but I don't really think he's really affecting or shaping the meta in a way that means that he should be popping up on like every Soviet player's choice. Anyway, Guard Motor Coordination Tactics, there he is. We've got Urban Defense Tactics, and we've got the Shock Rifle Frontline Tactics IS-2 commander. So a mixed bag here for Invor, a variety of play styles available, and we'll see as the game develops exactly which route our Soviet player wants to go down. For now, the route they're going to have to go down is rebuilding engineers, because if you don't do that, you cannot build tech, and if you do not build tech, you are not likely to win the game. So, actually, can you even build research? Alright, no, you know what? You could try and win the game just by building conscripts. Research Molotovs, research anti-tank grenades. They can technically deal with anything, right? Just build conscripts. That's the tech-free Soviet solution. Yeah, but unlikely to do well. Did we see the Soviet bulletins? No, we didn't, Datton. I'm glad you asked. We've got PaK-40 and Zis guns have 2% increased armor penetration, useful. We've got MG42s and Maxims have 2% increased accuracy, useful. And then we've got some conscript DPS there on the end. For res, it looks like we're running with conscript DPS, the extended range on the Fausts, and Grenadier DPS. A touch awkward that we've got Grenadier DPS and we're not using Grenadiers, we're using Assault Grenadiers, but that's neither here nor there. Yep, that's what we got. Hey, Orange Pest, what's going on, friend? Good to see you in chat. Am I casting the tourney? Not as far as I know. Is it happening now? When is this tourney? I don't know. If it's happening now, then I guess I could be spontaneously No, wait, no, because I'm casting ladder games, so no, I'm not casting the tourney. Oh, it's on Saturday. Well, that makes much more sense. In which case, I can hard confirm, no, I'm not casting the tourney, because I have plans this weekend. I am like looking at trying to cast tournaments again in the near future. It would be really fun. I miss it. It's really good. I really miss those days when we were casting ESL back in the day. They were really fun. So I would love to do something like that again.
Comrades, we have now installed a field hospital at headquarters.
All right, so turning my attention back to this game. Pretty even on the scoreline so far. Did the German player hemorrhage some squads?
Losing supplies to the enemy.
Oh, hang on. Nope. Okay. Oh, of course they were saving manpower to get the 250 assault group. Of course. All right, fair enough. Rip, it's happening next weekend as well. Yeah, the trouble is I didn't get involved when it was all getting organised or anything, and I don't want to like try and get in on somebody else's tournament, you know what I mean? I'm sure they're all very well set up. Look, if they're a caster short and they need my help, god damn, I would be there in a heartbeat. I would love to do it. Yeah, I'm not on the roster right now, let's put it that way. Okay, 250 half track it will be, and the 250 with the Panzer Grenadiers, STG's blazing, gonna dive on into the south of the map here and looking to pick up the engineers again. Oh, good God. It's really... they're getting so low. If he wipes those engineers again, then that is such a rough start to the game for Invor. But he will keep them alive for now, so that's okay. Yep, okay. So Invor with a lot of work to do here. Oh no, still techless actually as well. Vehicle grenade will connect onto the 250, so that will break the engine. Are there any other conscripts nearby? Yeah, more conscripts are coming up, so should be able to get the kill. Has enough munitions for the Ura grenade if needed. Oh, that's okay actually, sorry, these conscripts come in and get it. Boom, there we go. Okay, gets the 250 half track, but that's okay, those things are never long for this world. any veterancy or actual like damage that you get off of a 250 half track always feels like a bonus. Going to be going up to 2 MG42s now is 4 res, and that makes a lot of sense. Just double MG42 on a small map like Faymanville, always gonna reward you if you can look after those MG42s. And okay, we're getting into the territory now where I worry for the Soviet player playing techless. We need to see the engineers fall back and build a tech building like pretty soon, or else I just kind of think it starts looking really bad for the Soviet player, because you're trying to fight with 4 conscript squads and some engineers. You're trying to fight Panzer Grenadiers, Assault Grenadiers, and double MG42, and son, that just ain't gonna work. So time to throw down some tech, diversify your roster, maybe pick up an MG of your own, or a mortar squad, or both, or you know, do something else, or I don't know, maybe pick a commander and bring something in. But like, I mean, I think I like throwing down a support weapon Campanile best. The choices from that building are so good. Very few factions get an AT gun and a machine gun in the same really cheap building. You normally have to choose, or they're on different layers of tech or something like that. So yeah, would like to see. I think it's only UKF who also get them in the same place. Now I think about it, OKW. Actually, OKW get them both from the same place as well. So all right, maybe it's not that rare. All right, shock troops though have arrived, and it will be the shock rifle frontline tactics commander here, picked for Invor. So here come the shock troops, and they will be helpful. But with double MG42, I feel like it will be lucky if they can get in. Also, if they do get in, they will be rubbing up close against dudes who have close range weaponry. So. Shock troops, while undoubtedly useful, may not be the best choice here as this game goes on. We'll see though, we'll see. And still no tech. Alright. I mean, it's okay. We're not going to die because of lack of tech yet, so I guess it's alright. Okay, there's the support weapon Campanile, finally. Alright, well I feel a bit better now. I just start getting really anxious. It's like when you see a Wehrmacht player who doesn't build a pack gun and it's like 8 minutes and it's 9 minutes, and then you see the Stuart or the T70 or the AA half track on the queue and you're like, pack gun? And they're like, no, I'm not going to build a Life the Mechanized Company. And you're like, but the vehicle. And then, yeah, I have that uneasy feeling sometimes when Soviets just don't build tech. I'm very glad to see that Invor is going to be building some tech. So for all that we were saying, Invor is possibly a less well heard of, lower rated player, and I know that they did lose an engineer squad early on in this game. They have been okay, you know what? Actually, they are falling behind in the scoreline. Up until this triple cap, they were kind of keeping pace in terms of the scoreline, though, and that's pretty cool. It still doesn't look too bad by any stretch of the imagination. Ooh, shock troops actually pinned down in a nasty place there. But Invor can definitely take this game some places. Tankovy Battalion Command going to come down at a pretty nice timing. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in, by the way. A solid 32 viewers at the moment is like just pretty damn insane, given that I'm just casting random games off the live ladder of an evening. Really thrilled that everybody's decided to spend your time with me. Thank you very much. Magpie appreciates. All right. So it's going to be a T70 here. And this looks like a fine table for a T70. There is actually no Life the Mechanized Company. Oh, God. I mean, I was literally just saying how uneasy it makes me when Wehrmacht players just decide to try to play without a pack gun and then the light tank comes on the queue. I didn't think this was going to be the game, because I was talking about Invor skipping tech and it making me anxious. But now, I am a bit concerned that 4res doesn't have the Life the Mechanized Company. We're 11 minutes into this game. Okay, well, here comes the T70, and this is going to be difficult because we do not even have Panzerfausts. These are not Grenadiers, these are Assault Grenadiers. And Assault Grenadiers are good at many things, but dealing with T70s is not one of those things. So, we're going to have to see exactly what happens. Now, 4res has 25 munitions, and that will also not be enough to buy Panzerschrecks, but the munitions income, to be fair, is rampant. Double Muni, soon to be double fuel, okay, well, double Muni at least, is really good for Wehrmacht, and that is connected and flowing, but I mean, good God. He's going straight into support armor core. I see Wehrmacht players trying to do this all the time. I mean, not all the time, but often, skipping Infantry Company, and then getting greedy and skipping Life the Mechanized Company, and then going straight for support armor core. and we will see if it's going to pay off. We are nearly at Panzer IV money. We have held the field long enough, so you know what? I think it has. I think it has paid off. We are seeing... I mean, because the T-70, this was not the earliest T-70, was it? It came out at like the 11-minute mark or something. So, yeah, I think as long as it's an 11-minute mark T-70, this kind of thing is fine. Because now, yeah, this looks great. This looks great. The T-70 does not have a long enough window here to just be the Kingmaker where it's just going to like destroy things. Yeah, Stug Life, Fast Ostwind or Panzer IV, everybody's lighting up with the options available here. It's going to be an Ostwind. Oi, oi. So yeah, absolutely. When you skip tech and you get into the Rapido support armor core, everybody gets excited. So there we go. It's yeah, and Ostwind is exciting tech because it hammers conscripts and it hammers shock troops and it hammers T-70s, and that is the army right now for Invor. So if there ever was a table that was well set for an Ostwind, this is it. And 4 res. Okay. All right. I think I finally understand now. I think I finally understand because I mean I've never claimed to be the best Company of Heroes 2 player. I've never even claimed to be the best Company of Heroes 2 caster because to do so would be wrong. But I am literally learning about this game in real time, even after all these years and all these hours spent casting. I'm still very much learning. So I think I've figured it out. Right. Here's the Vermac decision making. Okay, like the Mechanized Company, essential to not die unless you correctly identify, as in this game, that you have had sufficient fuel control on the map that your opponent's light vehicle is going to be substantially delayed. In which case, you can safely, in inverted commas, leapfrog into support armor core. And it's safe because although there is a window where your opponent has a light tank and you have nothing that can hurt it, that window is going to be 90 seconds long at max, and that's actually okay. That window is fine because you're getting so much of a faster support armor core unit. And like, yeah, the Ostwind is out and it's going to get the T-70. And there we go. So, yeah, I like it. Spicy indeed, A-game. This is looking pretty good. Ostwind for the Ostfront. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why they picked it to be in the game. It's certainly not especially historically accurate. I mean, they were used on the Eastern Front, but I mean, not many Ostwinds were ever even made, let alone made it into combat. But it's a cool unit, and it's, you know, I'm glad that they put it in the game, but it's just like, you know, way more Ostwinds have been made in Company of Heroes 2 than were ever made in Nazi Germany. So anyway, Ostwind here, unlucky not to pick up this conscript. He's probably just going to dive into the base because there's nothing to answer here. Where's the Zisgun? Okay, the Zisgun's in a reasonable position. We'll get a shot into the Ostwind here and ward that one away. He does even keep the conscript squad alive. What is this? Oh, he's actually managed to grab an MG42. Wow. Okay, I didn't see this happening. You know what? The shock troops are going to grab the MG32, which is a bit awkward because now it takes up more unit cap. But, hang on a second, and the Ostwind even gets its engine blasted, I presume by an anti-vehicle grenade, so that's okay as well. I mean, look at this infantry roster for 4-res. It is not big. And now that he's given away one of his prized MG42s, I mean, that is a very, very, very useful tool for a Soviet army to have. A Soviet army that does not want to be spending manpower on machine guns of its own right now. So, Invor falling behind in the scoreline, getting styled on a little bit for the first 15 minutes, fine. But we actually come out into the mid game in a playable, totally playable position. Okay, if we can catch up on the scoreline, and we are doing that right now, that's happening. If we can catch up, he's building a T-70. Okay, thank God that gets cancelled. That would be a mistake, I think. Yeah, this game's totally playable. Invor is like super in with a shot, I reckon. This is looking pretty cool.
We are losing territory.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so sorry, I got totally distracted. Second Ostwind? I look away for 2 seconds, and 4-res be building double Ostwind on me. Wow. Fair enough. Okay. I mean, that looks great, right? If you ever find this Zisgun, you kind of win the game on the spot. Oh god, he's kind of found the Zisgun. Ooh. Ooh, no. Ooh. This doesn't look great. Ooh, oh god, he's going to lose his engineers as well. Oh god, oh, it's all falling apart. The wheels have fallen off. Alright, This is looking like game-ending damage being done here. We're looking at a Vermac player who's up to double Ostwind, and Invor with having difficulty holding onto his Zis gun, and that is the only thing that can actually help here. The mortar is punishing these Axis units for staying around the Zis gun, but that's okay. You'll take a few mortar hits. Why does this T-70 keep coming on the queue? I'm telling you, bro, this T-70 ain't good. Oh no, he's gonna let it finish, I reckon. And that's game. Wow, couple of quick ones out here. Couple of quick games indeed. But I'm going to just quickly bring it on back to a picture of my face here momentarily. Hey. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, that's right. Let's just quickly run over the schedule. Okay, so the schedule at the moment still looks like this. Okay, I'm casting at midday, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That means yes, I'm casting tomorrow. But I'm becoming increasingly convinced with lockdown ending and changes with my own job and things like that, that I should probably be casting in the evenings a little bit more. I'll have a think. This stream's been pretty fun. I like the players that we're getting. Oh, hang on. Oh, man. Jibber Jabber Jobber is the top of the ladder. It's a shame he's playing up against Invor. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. So, yep, this is the casting schedule. Those of you who are new, this is when you can catch me casting live. If you cannot catch me casting live, you can check out the YouTube channel for the VODs, youtube.com/magpie842. And that is what's happening. So, let's bring you all back to... Oops, that's my face. Bring you all back to Company of Heroes. Whoosh. We've got Jibber Jabber Jobber, who is often in chat on the channel and has super useful things to say. Playing as Invor, though, who we did just see be kind of meh. And then actually beyond that, it seems like actually the good players are not playing right now. Sorry, Jibber Jabber Jobber. Obviously, you're a good player, but like no notable names, I am afraid. So, gonna hop into this game with Jibber Jabber Jobber. A useful opportunity to cast someone who is very good. Jibber Jabber Jobber is a good player, you know, hopefully, perhaps Invor will give us a better showing this game, and it would be nice to catch a game from J cubed, the JJJ. Am I out of tea? Oh, it's okay, thank God. We have more tea. Whew. Cannot be casting without tea. It would be devastating. Okie dokie. All right, let's see now. Without further ado, let's introduce these two players to you. Spawning in the east, playing as the Vermac Pieces. The Ostruppen Vermac Pieces, no less. Defensive Doctrine picked. It's going to be J cubed, Jibber Jabber Jobber. And spawning in the west. Playing as the Soviet forces. Once again, we get to investigate the strategies, techniques, and abilities of Invor. So the table is set here on the map Nexus for hopefully a competitive and fun game. Perhaps on a slightly bigger map against an opponent who is, I don't know, not as hell-bent on Ostwinds. Perhaps Invor will stand a good chance. I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see. Let's see what happens.
New units are ready to deploy.
Double Ostwind. I think you lose your passport if you run out of tea as a Brit. Yeah, you're probably not far wrong. Actually, what happens if you run out of tea? If the police knock on your door and ask you to produce a kettle of tea and you are unable to do so, then under the law you can and will be escorted to Buckingham Palace, whereupon you will be forced to play against our Queen Elizabeth II in a game of croquet, complete with scones and biscuits and sandwiches. And, you know, if you are unable to defeat Her Majesty, you will be summarily executed. I don't make the laws, I just live under them. It's crazy over here in Britain. So, good for me that I always have a cup of tea on standby then. Whew. So, I'm going to talk about something else as this game gets underway. Iron Harvest. Have you guys seen that one? That is looking pretty sweet. Now, there's a demo out for it at the moment on Steam, which I've not investigated, because actually I have this thing where I like to save myself for the actual release of games rather than sort of see them in a half-baked or sort of beta or demo state. Usually, anyway. There are some games I'll make an exception for, just because I like sort of fully immersing myself in the creamy goodness of like the finished product and just experiencing it as the developers intended for the first time. And it's really exciting for me to do that. However, I have looked at some gameplay for Iron Harvest, and yeah, Datton in chat saying people are pretty down on it because it looks pretty janky. Yeah, I was initially like, hey, the engine looks really sweet, the graphics are kind of good, but then I saw how the combat unfolded, and I was just like, this needs some work. Now, they do have some time. I believe it comes out in September, so what are we in now? June? They've got like a month and a half, 2 months. Yeah, all right. That's interesting, Datton, that you thought that. Hey, Creative Name, what's up? Yeah, you missed somebody like skip tech into double Ostwin for the win, and it looked pretty brutal. So now we're casting Jibber Jabber Jobber versus Invor. And we're talking about, well, I'm talking a little bit about Iron Harvest, because it looks like an interesting game. And, you know, at first glance, it does appear to have a lot of similarities, of course, with our beloved Company of Heroes 2. You know, it's a three-dimensional sort of period historical RTS with Soviet voice acting, and, you know, at first glance, the games do look similar-ish. So yeah, I'm interested cautiously in that game, but as Datton pointed out, people are a bit skeptical, but that's okay. The game isn't out yet, and players are just really now getting their first sort of taste of the game. Is that MG42 going to go down? It is. Players are just now really getting their first taste of the game, and if the developers are quick to respond to that, then who knows? I mean, as far as I know, the graphical assets and the engine look solid, and the rest, the balance and the way the combat interactions work, that's all on the table for being changed in sort of a month or two before release, and even a month or two after release, worst case scenario. So I am still cautiously optimistic. I mean, the game looks to have decent production values. I will keep my ear to the ground for more news and sort of updates and try to judge that one as it comes out. But I mean, I'm hoping that it will be a welcome oasis on the long, dry and dusty road to Company of Heroes 3 and Homeworld 3, which I am like just hyped beyond belief about. Like, those two games are going to be very exciting when they come, and I'm excited for them both. Homeworld 3, oh my god, can you guys imagine Homeworld 3? When they announced that game, I like that was just a really good day for me. I felt pretty good about that. A month to refine the entirety of gameplay. That's not how that works. I mean, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. You are not wrong. Having said that, I mean, it depends on the context, though. Like, famously, one of the betas that I think was the most healthy for the release of the game was the Halo Reach beta, because I did play in that, and there were many aspects of it where I was just like, well, this needs work. And then between that and release, which was definitely like less than 90 days, they just made it a different game, and not only a different game, probably one of the greatest games I've ever played. So, I mean, it can be done, but I mean, I appreciate that we're talking in that example about Bungie, who have, in the context of RTS, unlimited resources. Like, God only knows what kind of money Bungie were playing with back in those days. So yeah, cool mechs though, right, Datton? That's it. You know it. If that's a cool World War style mechs as well. So I don't know, lots of exciting stuff. It's going to be a 251 half track. Okay. Jibber Jabber Jobber, going to be spicing it up with a medium vehicle. Looks like Invor having another tough opening to a game here. Going for the mortar first out of the support weapon Campanile. Going to get an Ostripin squad for free here. Jibber Jabber Jobber just not paying attention. So that's a nice pickup. And will it be two 251 half tracks? I mean, we're going to find out. Is that like a meta thing that people are doing or something? Please tell me that's not. Is he getting flame projectors? He does not appear to be getting flame projectors. He appears to be reinforcing out of the back of it. He's going to use it as a clown half track and like dump flame dudes and panzer grenadiers on top of people. That's what's going to happen here in a second. Oh no, gets flamed a bit though. That's a touch awkward. Not what you want. He could pop those panzer grenadiers out and start reinforcing them actually. But if I crack the tack, we can see the story. This is domination here by the Wehrmacht forces. So Invor here with a lot of work to do in our second game that we're casting of them today. And, I mean, just Conscripts is always going to have a rough time against double MG, double Panzergren, APC, Flamethrower. Like, Conscripts are not sophisticated. You need to diversify your roster rapidly with Soviets, and that is the challenge as playing as this faction. If you can get through the mid-game, Soviets kind of kick it. Well, I mean, they're really good. If you can get through the early game. Ziskan on the way. Oh, he's healing them. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. But isn't the healing in the half-track, like, quite slow? Or am I wrong about that? What's in the half-track now? These Panzer Grenadiers. All right, let's click on the Panzer. Oh, okay, well, let's keep an eye on their health bar. You know what? That is not the slowest healing at all. That's pretty good healing. Okay, fair enough. I'm convinced. That's awesome. The healing aspect is quite cool. Is that all half-tracks, or is it just the 251? Datton, here's your hot take. Ostripan are much better than Assault Grenadier. Datton, buddy, I'm gonna. Here's my hot take. Your hot take is not that hot. I think Ostripan are way better than Assault Grenadiers, and I don't think it's a hot take. I think that is an established fact. I think anyone who's disagreeing with that is heavily in denial. Ostripan are way better than Assault Grenadiers. That's what I think. That's that's just how I feel, I guess. But I mean, you know, I only cast the games I cast, and in a given month, I probably only cast like 60 games, maybe? Something like that? I don't know. It's hard to guess, but that is a small sample size. Bandery Grenade! Oh, kind of actually not really getting that much done. That looked like such a plum Bundaroo grenade. Look at the little buff here. The Panzer Grenadiers doing their Panzer Grenadier thing, and they're reinforcing in the fight. Look at this! Jibber Jabber Jobber doing a credible impression of a Wehrmacht player using the 251 half-track as it was intended, not with flame projectors, using this as just the half-track. So I'm really glad he's doing the reinforcing, he's getting some heals off, and he's using it to do... This is how I like to play Wehrmacht, a really in-your-face, aggressive style. Camp on your opponent's doorstep of their base, and just reinforce dudes, keep the pressure on, and don't let them access the map. That's what I like doing, and that's what at my level of play a 251 half-track can let you do. So there we go. Creative name, it just depends on the map. Good point, good point, good point. I think in RTS everyone always just tries to talk about units in a vacuum, and the map pool, the importance of the map pool is consistently underplayed in RTS. Really good example right now is Command & Conquer Remastered. Everybody's like, wow, Nod's really OP, oh, Nod's so OP, and it's like, well, you're not wrong, but is it because of the faction design, or is it because of the map pool? And when you look at the maps that are in the game, it's like, well, these are all Nod maps, so yeah, Nod's doing pretty well. So yeah, anyway. A lot of the maps seem quite open now. They used to be a lot more constrained and filled with shot blockers. Yeah, interesting. For sure, some of them are a bit more open because, I mean, there were places on Kolodny and other staple maps, but Kolodny especially springs to mind, where you could abuse certain positions really badly, and essentially almost the only way of fixing that is to make them more open so that players just can't get an advantage in those locations. So... yeah, maps do seem a little more open now, I will grant you. In fact, to be honest, the map pool at the moment is very open, isn't it? The more I think about it, yeah, you're right. And the problem is as well, like I feel like most players veto a lot of the more interesting, sort of more chaotic and constrained maps in favor of these maps that everybody sort of feels like they know how to play on, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has an idea of how the game is supposed to run on Feymanville Approach and on Langraskaya and on Crossroads and on, you know, Nexus, and, you know, these maps are understood for the most part. And I think because of that, we see them played quite a lot. Just because I think people veto a lot of the weird maps. And there might be very good reasons for doing that, to be honest. Who knows? It's a really funny thing, actually. There are telemines out, by the way. It's a really funny... oh, the telemines in great positions all over the place. It's a really funny thing how in RTS, players always want really consistent brackets boring map design. And I say brackets boring because people tend to say that that's boring, but it depends on your point of view. But for the viewing experience and for the variety, longevity, and health of the game, a lot of variety in maps is handy. And we see this in StarCraft all the time, because in StarCraft you do get some maps where it's just like, you wait, what? You know, you get a map and it's just like, oh, you can do this thing on that map, which you cannot do anywhere else in the game, and it changes everything. Conscript's going to get gibbed here. And you don't really get that so much in other RTSs, so it exaggerates the effects so much in StarCraft. But wherever you get a super weird map, like what was that Gangnam Terran map? I can't remember the name of it, where the Terran player could like lift their CC and like go and get a gold base right at the start. That one, Golden Wall in the present map pool, and like, I don't know. There have been hit maps throughout StarCraft 2's history which are just really weird, and unanimously pro players hate them, and so you only see them in best of sevens where they don't have vetoes, or best of nines or whatever, which is just pretty funny, I guess. Anyway, Panzer IV on the queue here, Jabba 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 giving us a fantastic display of Wehrmacht domination. This 251 half track being used as a vanilla 251 half track, and I must say it is a pleasure to see. Wehrmacht half track just being used as a Wehrmacht half track, not as a flaming weapon of assault. So this is groovy, I'm loving it. And a Panzer IV will be the perfect thing to make this roster much more impressive. You know, it's been a hard game for the Soviet player when the Panzer IV is finishing before the T-70. So that's pretty rough. Yeah, Kimbo, this is a trash game. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, it's, you know, trash. It's just not top tier, that's all. And it looks trash to us because we've got Fog of War turned off and, you know, all that. But it's not the level of game we're used to casting, but it was the only game we had available. And so, in the meantime, we're talking about Command and Conquer, and we're talking about StarCraft, and we're talking about map design, and just having a bit of an interesting discussion and doing our best. So, yeah. Getting that reinforced range upgrade. Oh, yeah! I always forget about that, Datton. Damn straight, son. Yeah. And improving mobility, which, I mean, is a survivability buff, let's face it. And it's because of this 251 half track that, like, Jibba Jabba Jobber has just been able to, like, live on the doorstep of the Soviet base. Is he going to get a Faust off? Oh, no. Ostripin shouldn't have Fausts, I'm just going to say it. It should be a costly upgrade or something. Like, the fact that Ostripin just are just the best Faust unit in the game, like, blows my mind. They are literally the best Faust unit in the game. Change my mind. It's stupid. They should have to upgrade to have Fausts or something. I don't know. Because Ostripin are so good at so many things that the fact that they are the best Faust unit in the game just is like, for real? Yeah, Invor is doing reasonably. You're not wrong. No game-ending damage has been done. 160 tickets is a lot less than it could have been. Double Panzer IV? Whoosh. 14-minute double Panzer IV is pretty good. Well, yeah, you're right, Dan. It's not quite 14-minute, but I totally take your point. Totally take your point. I mean, these are two very fast Panzer IVs, and this is going to be a nightmare for Invor to deal with. But, you know, Invor is going up to that second Zis gun, which will be, of course, essential if these Soviet players to have a chance against these Panzer IVs. Panzer Grenadiers doing Panzer Grenadier things. Good God. Conscripts are better with... What's that? What's that Aqua Surfer? Sorry, with Euro? Don't quite get it, my friend. Sorry. So yeah, the Panzer IV is here and angry. Oh, Conscript's better with Sprint. Yeah, sure. The Conscript equivalent makes them a better Faust equivalent. Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, I can absolutely accept that, yeah. But I guess I wasn't including them in Faust units, but I do see that the anti-vehicle grenade is a Faust equivalent, yeah. But in terms of literally units that have Fausts, it's mad to me that Ostripin are the best. But now I think about it, that is only 3 units now, isn't it? Because Fallschirmjäger don't get them anymore. So, alright. Alright, guys, you're alright. Okay, after Conscripts, Ostripin are some of the best anti-vehicle troops in the game. Anti-vehicle grenade troops in the game. I don't know. I'm not even sure. My statement has been so diluted now, I'm not even sure what I'm trying to say with it. Anyway, Panzer IV going to come in here, wants to corner the T-70. Is going to be offered up as a trade. Not sure about that. Definitely going to lose the Panzer IV here. Hang on. What? What's going on with these Zis guns? Okay, he's definitely going to lose this Panzer IV here. Yeah, going to lose the Panzer IV. He's definitely going to lose the Panzer IV here. Okay, now he's going to lose the Panzer IV. He's going to bundle grenade. He's definitely going to lose the Panzer IV here. Okay, there we go. Anti-vehicle grenade from the conscripts. That looked a little bit like that Panzer IV was going to somehow escape certain death there. And that would have been a bit weird. But it's okay. We got the Panzer IV. Even more questionable usage of Zisk guns. Yeah. Questionable usage of Panzer IV. Some questionable decisions for sure. But that's okay. You know, it's kind of nice just to cast a game from someone who's often in chat, you know what I mean? Like to catch Jibber Jabber Jobber at work, as it were. You know, we can assess the chops of Jibber Jabber Jobber. And to be honest, so far, I mean, I'm impressed. This is looking fine. The lead right now, 205 tickets for our Wehrmacht player. So far, a perfect game insofar as the scoreline remains untouched. So that's pretty promising. He's using transports like they're supposed to be used, says Dan. Absolutely, and it's impressive. It's sick. Like, I'm loving it. This is how I always try to use Wehrmacht half-tracks. Since the game released, there are 2 or 3 things that when I play Wehrmacht, I have always done. One is build a German sniper ridiculously early. Almost too early. But my theory was, if I build a German sniper every game really early, then the entire time I'm playing Company of Heroes 2, at least as Wehrmacht, I will be microing a German sniper. And if I just keep doing that, I'll get quite good at microing German snipers. And yeah, there was probably a time when I was quite good at microing a German sniper. Of course, I stopped practicing like years ago, so the skills have probably rusted considerably. But yeah, I was pretty good at microing German snipers back in the day. And the other thing that I always do, apart from build German snipers, is build 251 half-tracks and try to keep them safe and reinforcing my army so that I can use a sort of pressure, momentum-based style as Wehrmacht, because I find it fun. I like attacking. So, yeah, that's 2 things that I always try to do. So it's heartening to see Jibber Jabber Jobber using a 251 half-track without the flame projector. And to be fair, getting value out of it. Like, is it looking bad? No, I don't think so. So there we go. Creative name saying get guards, and you got this. Yeah, actually. You are very... You and Datton... Actually, to be honest, it's more than just you and Datton. There are many voices in my chat who have got really quite good insight and tactical acumen. I won't list you all. But, yeah... Creative name, you often come in with the good reads, and for sure, actually, guards would do a ton in this situation, wouldn't they? They could button the Panzer IV, which enables your Zisk guns to come in for the kill. The PTRSs are a great way of dealing with that flak half-track. The DPs would be a much-needed source of anti-infantry damage, and once you have DPs, you're not really so scared of the Panzer Grenadiers, or indeed the Ostrobahn to a lesser extent. And then, you know, you can use the mortar to counter the MGs, and so yeah, actually I do sort of feel like guards are the missing part of this composition. That's a very interesting point. And to be honest, I mean, even trailing by 255 tickets, the position is retrievable. Invor, you know, fighting still would have a chance here. It's going to be a T-34-76 here, and this is a reasonable choice because we've not seen any pack guns out of our Wehrmacht opponent. So this T-34 is actually not as terrible as I usually say. And to be honest, this has been such a low fuel income game for the Soviet player that I actually don't think we're in a position to think about affording anything else. So I guess... Okay, he gets guards as well. There you go, Creative. He picked the commander specifically for guards. Immediately picked the commander and went for guards. So there you go, Creative name. We get to see your idea in action. These... Guards infantry will be joining the Soviet roster. Does he have enough munitions for DPs? He does, yeah. Alright. Oh god, but he gets overrun the moment the guards come out. Quick, turn. We're going to need those Zisk guns, man. Where are they going? Oh, Bundaroo grenade. Oh, I didn't see the Panzergrens pursuing. Good god, he just picked up a conscript squad, didn't he? Yeah, he just picked up a conscript squad with that bundle grenade. Brutal. So brutal. T-34 though gets to have a little go out here. Okay, there's a shoe mine. Sorry. Oh no, what did he just lose? I'm not sure exactly what Soviet unit just died, but it was something. But the T-34 is holding strong. Oh, it's time for the Stug. I mean, the Stug is going to play very well here. You know, we're dealing with a Soviet opponent who's been fuel starved. And that Stug has a Panzer IV to hide behind, and lots of great supporting infantry. Stug and Brumbar? Okay then. Okay, that is not a thing you see on the queue very often at the same time. And we're not going to see them in the game. Alrighty. And that's game. Wow. Rough times. Rough times indeed. Invor, you gave it your best. To a certain extent, I do feel a little bit bad when we follow a random player and on the channel, and they have a couple of rough games, because you can bet Invor is being matched with players at the top of the ladder. They're probably on the cusp of achieving greatness. You know, if they stick at this game, you can only lose so many games against the top players in the game before you start learning something and you start getting really good at the game. So, yeah, I feel a bit bad for Invor that in 2 out of 2 games there, not looking spectacular, but not looking awful either. Definitely a lot of solid decision making and solid unit choices, and putting up a good fight there. Jibber Jabber Jobber, looking strong, to say the least. So. I'm looking through the games on the live game ladder. I think I'm gonna have to call it there. The reason being, my voice is starting to hurt a little bit, and I'm casting tomorrow as well. So I think we're gonna leave it there for the night. But thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. It has been such fun, and it turns out I actually can do these evening streams just fine. So we're gonna find someone to host. And then we're going to sign off for the night. But I'll be casting again in less than 24 hours. I'll be casting tomorrow at 1100 hours GMT. So you can tune in and join me then. And we'll get some more hilarious games on. Let's have a look here. Company of Heroes 2. Let's see who's playing right now. Imperial Dane is playing. Ha! Hilarious. Sure, let's give Dane a host. That's hilarious. I didn't even know Dane was still around, to be honest. Not that I really pay much attention. Just getting this loaded in. Alrighty. Okay, guys. Once again, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. If you like what you saw, give me a follow and check out my wares on YouTube. You can also follow me at Twitter at MagpieCaster for the latest updates and whatnot. Yeah, had a blast. It was really cool. Thank you very much, everyone, for showing out. Now I'm going to host Imperial Dane now, if I can remember how. Let's give this a go. Boop. Yeah, that's working. All right, guys. Thanks very much. This for now. Magpie 842, signing out.